Been a while since I did one of these. I'm a little late on it. Usually when it comes to something like this, where I'm always gonna do one of these. If I haven't done it, it probably just means I've forgotten, and just best to remind me. Luckily, somebody did. So now we're gonna be getting to the volume 11, 11th installment of comparing Mashima's volume covers for his three big series: Rave Master, Fairy Tale, and Eden Zero. This one, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little difficult because I do like all the covers in general. Like, I don't think any of these are bad, but I don't think either of these three, like any of these three, are like super amazing. I do think that color wise, they visually look really good. I like the way that Mashima used like a lot more kind of like softer colors for the original Rave Master one. I think that's just the way he didn't use anything that kind of like is very aggressively stands out. The closest thing is kind of like Haru's coat, but it's not too heavy. It's very plain though. They're just Ellie, him, and Plu are just kind of on the cover, just kind of chilling. I don't know what eating a cheeseburger has to do with what was happening to the volume. Probably just a chill one. The fairy tale one. The best part about the fairy tale one, I would say, is the bird that they're riding on. Like the way that has like this kind of teal scales, I think looks really nice. I think that's probably one of the most, it's not the best part, like I said, of the volume cover, just because I think that color just looks really well with this background and the softer colors as well. Like I don't know, he doesn't use any like aggressive things in this one. On top of it, I don't think he uses anything kind of like super heavy, like pops out at you in any of these three covers. I wonder if that's just a coincidence or if it's something that he just kind of like saw the other two and he's like, well, maybe I should do something kind of more comfortable, because the Eden Zero one is pretty straightforward. Like, they had stuff with Drac and Joe and Noah, the Four Shining Stars and Shiki. Color wise, I think this one, like the overall kind of like border, like the how each Eden Zero cover has a different main color for the border of the volume, as well as the text and the text for the title and whatnot. I think definitely out of these three, though, when it comes to just like the colors for that frame, I do like the Eden Zero one the most in that regard. Like the fairy tale has the purple writing, which honestly I think looks a little strange, and on the fairy tale side, just because it's not a color I see associated with the series a ton. I don't know, because like none of the main cast really has like much purple in their I think in their moveset. The closest one really is Gray's Demon Ice is somewhat kind of like a purplish color that they do in the anime, but for the most part, I don't know. I don't think it goes well with the series, at least with the characters. Whereas like Eden Zero, like with space, purple is just a color I've always kind of associated with space and like gravity. So I think it just works out for it. I think the green looks really good, but personally I think the purple looks the best when it comes to Eden Zero. I just think purple and the whole space theme just looks fantastic. So this is a really difficult one because, like I said, I like all the three of these covers. I think they visually look very nice, but none of the three of them really stand out too much to me. I think that like in terms of like the general just kind of like presentation of it. Obviously, the Eden Zero one is the one that actually is like regarding towards what's going on in the storyline, what's going on at the plot point of it, like at that point doing stuff with Drac and Joe. Whereas like the Fairy Tale one is just kind of like, oh yeah, we're doing stuff. The Rave Master one is just like, yeah, we're just hanging out. It's nothing too crazy. I'm not too sure. I'm just kind of thinking on the top of my head of like which one do I really want to pick. I think I think I'm gonna go with the Eden Zero cover just because when it comes down to it, it's got something that I think relates to the series the best in terms of the general kind of like layout, like with the colors. I really like the kind of split between Noah and Drac and Joe, as well as the Shining Stars, especially all in their battle dresses too. I think looks really nice. But this was this was a little bit of a difficult one. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie because each one of these looks good, not amazing. Volume 12. I have to relook at what Volume 12 is for Wraith Master, but Volume 12 for Fairy Tail is a heavy hitter. So next one I think is gonna have to be, it's gonna have to bring out like a really big one for Eden Zero. And there's the possibility, because I'm pretty sure the next volume is going to be having Demon King form Mashiki on it. So we'll see. It's got to be intense if it's going to keep up with the Fairy Tail cover for volume 12. But we'll see. We'll see how that one goes. So yeah, I'm going to give it to Eden Zero on this one. It was, like I said, it was a little bit of a weird kind of like setup, especially given that the Wraith Master and Fairy Tail ones didn't have a whole lot to do with the content in their covers. I don't know. In terms of the background, I definitely give it to Eden Zero, or sorry, Wraith Master, just because I think that sunset kind of red to orange looks really nice. But I don't know. I think it hurt its chances a little bit when it didn't have, like, I mean, they're just kind of hanging out, and like the Haru's just eating a cheeseburger. There's nothing kind of like too hypening over what's going on in the volume and whatnot. And I think Eden Zero just having what I would kind of see as like its series, the color that works best for its series, I think helped it a lot in terms of this gauge. If it had a different color, I think it'd be a toss up, and I would just have to kind of pick one depending on maybe like smaller details to it, like, oh, I like happy with this, aviation style hat on. But given that it had, the purple, which is the color that I would associate most with Eden Zero, I think it looks the best in that regard. Anyway, other than that, though, comment below. Tell me your thoughts are about this and what you think about these kind of videos. I like doing these. They're pretty simple and they're fun, and it's just nice to look back at the ages of Hiro Mashima when he first started. I think a lot of people have seen like his early Rave Master covers are just really confusing. They have nothing to do with what's going on. And then when he starts to really hone his skills, like Hiro Mashima at the time, like a Rave Master was what 18 to 19, so he probably was still kind of like goofy a bit, and some of Rave Master's early comedy as well is extra silly. So just seeing him kind of grow and stuff is a lot of fun when we go through these. But anyway, other than that, though, comment below. Thumbs up the video, friend the like button, subscribe button. Tell me which one is your favorite as well. And I really appreciate if you would thumbs up my video and subscribe if you haven't. Other than that, I appreciate everybody there subscribed. Thank you all for listening. Bye.